Hello, lovely learner. Welcome back to Everyday English Learning, the podcast where everyday moments become natural language practice.
Hi there, I'm Jake.
And I'm Lily. Today we are focusing on cozy dialogue practice, sharing the exact words we use for an ordinary day.
We are specifically looking at phrasal verbs. I know that phrase can sound slightly intimidating to English learners.
It really can. Phrasal verbs are just the action phrases native speakers use. They make your English sound warmer and more relaxed.
Exactly. You do not awaken and prepare a beverage. You wake up and make some coffee.
I hope no one actually says they are preparing a beverage in their own kitchen at 7 in the morning.
You would be surprised. When we learn a new language, we often reach for the most formal, serious words first.
That is so true. So today, we are going to walk through a typical day. We will share some short, cozy conversations.
We will give you a chance to practice. You can listen, or you can speak out loud and shadow our pronunciation.
We will start with mornings, move through the busy afternoon, and finally talk about how we end the day.
Honestly, my mornings have been chaotic lately. There is one simple chore I have been avoiding for 3 weeks now.
3 weeks? That sounds like a heavy secret. You have to tell us what it is.
I will, but let us start with the nice part of the morning first.
Okay, the suspense is building. What is this mysterious morning chore you have been avoiding for 3 weeks?
I have been avoiding fixing the handle on my coffee grinder. It fell off, so now I have to pinch the little metal bit to manually grind the beans every single morning.
Okay, that was accurate. I can picture you angrily pinching a tiny metal stick before you have even had your coffee. Why not just fix it?
I know, I really should. I just keep putting it off. Put off is a great everyday phrasal verb, by the way. It means delaying a task you do not want to do.
That is a perfect example. And notice how natural that sounds. You did not say, I am postponing the repair. You said, I am putting it off.
Exactly. That is a common assumption a lot of English learners make. They think they need big academic words to sound fluent or smart.
But in reality, native speakers prefer small verbs paired with prepositions for daily life. It makes the conversation feel warmer and much less formal.
It really does. Think about a typical morning. If it is a rainy weekend, I do not awaken late intentionally. I just sleep in.
Yes, sleeping in is the best. And when you finally leave the bed, you do not formally clothe yourself. You throw on a sweater.
I love that phrase. Throw on means to put clothing on quickly, without worrying about how it looks. It paints such a relaxed picture.
It does. Phrasal verbs give your English a visual, comfortable feeling. It is the language of home and family.
But I also completely understand why learners object to them. They can be incredibly frustrating.
Oh, definitely. The tricky part is that changing just one little word changes the entire meaning of the action.
Right. If you look at a preposition like up, it is everywhere. You wake up, you get up, you wash up.
And memorizing a giant list of verbs with up is the worst way to learn them. They just start to blur together in your mind.
It is too abstract. That is exactly why we are walking through a real day instead. You learn these phrases best when you attach them to a physical action.
So, let us look at the rest of the morning routine. After you wake up and throw on some clothes, what happens next?
Well, after my painful coffee grinding experience, I usually tidy up the kitchen a little bit.
Tidy up. That just means doing a light, quick cleaning. You are not scrubbing the floors. You are just making the space look neat.
Exactly. I might wipe down the counters or pick up some magazines from the table.
Pick up is so useful. And then, once the space is clear, I finally sit down and try to figure out my schedule for the day.
Figure out is a crucial one. It means to solve a problem or organize a plan. I probably use that phrase 5 times a day.
So do I. Especially when I am trying to figure out how I am going to finish all my tasks, which usually brings us right to the middle of the day.
The busy afternoon. That is when the cozy morning atmosphere disappears and the real daily stress usually starts to kick in.
It really does. The emails pile up, the deadlines approach, and suddenly you feel like you are moving too slowly.
It is a tough shift in energy. Let us talk about how we handle that afternoon chaos and the specific phrases we use when things get busy.
To start, the hardest part of the afternoon for me is usually around 2 o'clock. That is when I realize I am not going to finish everything on my list.
Oh, the 2 o'clock panic. I know it well. You look at the clock and realize the day is slipping away. Actually, I had a perfect example of this exact feeling last Thursday.
What happened on Thursday? You usually work from home on Thursdays, right?
I do, and I was determined to be productive. I was trying to finish a big monthly report before the weekend. In natural English, we would say I was trying to wrap up the report.
Wrap up is a beautiful phrase. It gives the visual feeling of packaging something neatly, tying a bow on it so you can finally be done.
Exactly. I was just about to wrap it up. I could practically taste freedom. And then, a colleague called and asked if I could help him organize a presentation for the next morning.
Oh no. Let me guess. You said yes immediately.
Fair. I did. I have a terrible habit of agreeing to things when I am already overwhelmed.
It is so hard to say no, especially in a second language, but even in our native language. We often feel like we have to accept everything just to be polite and helpful.
Right. I ended up having to take on this massive new task right at the end of the day.
Take on means to accept a responsibility or a heavy challenge. And when you take on too much, you easily get stressed out.
I was definitely stressed out. I was sitting at my desk thinking, I really should have declined this supplementary assignment.
But declined this supplementary assignment sounds a bit like a robot, right?
Completely. If I actually said that to a coworker, he would look at me like I had lost my mind.
Okay, that made me laugh. It is so true though. We reach for those formal dictionary words when we panic or feel uncomfortable. How could you have said it more naturally?
I could have used a simple phrase like, I cannot take that on right now.
That is a fantastic, reusable sentence. Let us practice that frame so our listeners can hear the rhythm. I would love to help, but I cannot take anything else on right now.
I would love to help, but I cannot take anything else on right now. It is polite, but it sets a clear boundary.
And notice how the phrasal verb take on softens the rejection. It makes it sound like your hands are simply too full, rather than just coldly refusing to do the work.
That is the hidden magic of phrasal verbs. They do not just change the vocabulary, they actually change the tone of the conversation to make it friendlier.
So, after you took on this extra presentation, how did you actually finish everything?
I had to make another cup of coffee and just power through it.
Power through. I love that one. That means using all your remaining willpower and energy to finish a difficult task, even when you are completely exhausted.
It was not fun. By the time I finally closed my laptop, the cozy feeling of the morning was completely gone. I just wanted to fall onto the sofa.
I think everyone listening knows that exact feeling. The afternoon takes all our energy, and then we have to somehow transition into a peaceful evening.
But there is a catch. Sometimes, even when you are completely exhausted, you cannot just stop working, power down, and rest.
That is true. Real life does not always allow for a clean, easy break at 5 o'clock.
Exactly. Sometimes the evening routine is interrupted, and you have to figure out how to keep going when your plan for a quiet night falls apart.
We love the idea of a peaceful evening, but you are right. You come home, and immediately you have to cook dinner or take care of the family. Real life is rarely that simple.
Exactly. It is almost like a second workday, but eventually, the chores are done. That is when we actually transition from working to resting.
And this is where we find some of the coziest phrasal verbs. But there is an important distinction to make here. Learners often use the word relax for everything, but resting has different stages.
That is very true. Relax is a great word, but native speakers usually break the evening down into specific feelings.
Right. Think about the difference between actively relaxing and passively resting. If you are reading a book, you are intentionally bringing your energy down. We call that winding down.
Wind down. That is a vivid phrase. It gives you the image of a mechanical toy that has been tightly wound up all day, slowly releasing its tension.
Yes, you wind down with a cup of tea. But sometimes you are too tired even for that. You do not want to actively do anything at all.
Right. You just want to sit on the sofa and stare at the television. For that heavy, exhausted feeling, we often use the phrase veg out.
Veg out, as in turning your brain off and temporarily becoming a vegetable. I definitely do that on Friday nights.
I should not laugh, but yes, I do the exact same thing. I will turn on a completely random documentary and just totally veg out.
So you have winding down, which is intentional, and vegging out, which is just letting your brain stop. Both are necessary.
They are. But here is the problem I always run into. Even when I am exhausted and trying to wind down, my brain sometimes decides it wants to stay up.
Oh, stay up, meaning to remain awake past your usual bedtime. Why does your brain do that when you are already so tired?
I think I feel like I did not get enough free time during the afternoon, so I stay up late to reclaim some personal time, even though I know I will regret it.
Exactly. In natural English, we just say, I ended up staying up way too late.
It is a terrible cycle. I stay up late, I am exhausted the next day, and then my coffee grinder handle falls off again because I am too tired to fix it.
The tragic story of the coffee grinder continues. But let us imagine a successful night. When you finally go to bed, you do not instantly sleep.
No, you have to get comfortable first. We use the phrase settle in. It means to get cozy and prepare to stay in one comfortable place for a while.
You can settle in with a blanket or settle in on the sofa. And then, if you are lucky, you slowly doze off.
Doze off. That implies a gentle transition into sleep. You are reading a book, your eyes get heavy, and you just doze off.
So, we have walked through an entire day of these everyday phrases. Now, we need to gather them all together.
That is right. Next, we are going to review these actions. Make sure the meanings are perfectly clear and practice saying them out loud.
Exactly. And the secret to mastering these everyday phrasal verbs is to organize them by your physical energy level, rather than trying to memorize a textbook list.
That makes perfect sense. If you stare at a page of verbs that all end in up or out, your brain will definitely start to doze off.
It absolutely will. So, let us build a simple daily energy timeline. We can break the day down into gathering energy, spending energy, and releasing energy.
I like that structure. Stage 1 is gathering energy. That is your morning routine. You wake up, throw on some clothes, and lightly tidy up the kitchen.
Notice how those phrases feel light and quick. They are all about bringing yourself and your environment into order, so you can start the day peacefully.
But then we hit stage 2, which is spending energy. That is the afternoon chaos where all your carefully made plans disappear.
This is the hardest stage for learners to describe naturally, because the stress is high. You have to wrap up a big project or power through your exhaustion.
And often, you accidentally take on extra work. Let us test this out with a difficult situation. Imagine your boss suddenly asks you to finish a massive report.
That is the worst feeling. You might instinctively use formal, rigid English because you are nervous. You might say, "I am unable to complete this task today."
Which sounds incredibly defensive. If you speak like a textbook, people feel disconnected from you. Instead, what is a warmer way to decline using our daily phrases?
You could say, "I really want to help, but I cannot take on anything else today. Can we figure it out on Monday morning?"
That is an excellent reusable frame. It is clear, it protects your boundaries, but it remains polite and conversational.
Which brings us to the final stage, releasing energy. The difficult work is finally done, and you can let your guard down.
My absolute favorite stage. This is the evening transition, where you wind down, veg out in front of the television, and eventually settle in for the night.
Yes! And as a quick practice for everyone listening, I want you to pick just one of these 3 stages. Think about your own routine yesterday.
Say one sentence out loud about your day using one of these phrases. Did you throw on a warm sweater? Did you power through a difficult assignment?
It is a wonderful way to connect the vocabulary directly to your personal life. Now, Jake, speaking of personal life, we have to address the broken coffee grinder.
Oh no, I knew you were going to bring that back up before we finished. My secret is out.
I have to. You cannot keep putting it off. The angry pinch and grind method is not a sustainable morning routine for a happy life.
You are completely right. I am officially making a public promise to you and all our listeners. I am going to fix the handle this weekend.
We will hold you to that. Next time we record, I am going to ask if you actually fixed it, or if you just vegged out instead.
Honestly, I will probably try to fix it, get frustrated, and then veg out. But at least I have a plan. Let us start the vocabulary review.
Welcome to our language review section, Meaning Moments. It is time to gather the coziest phrases we use today and practice saying them out loud.
And we are starting with the phrase that currently defines my relationship with my broken coffee grinder. The phrasal verb, put off.
Yes. To put something off means to delay a task you really do not want to do. Let us look at a Say It Better upgrade. Instead of saying, "I am postponing the repair," what do we say?
You say, I am putting it off. Repeat. I am putting it off.
I am putting it off. Our second phrase is from the morning routine. Throw on.
We use this when we get dressed quickly, without caring too much about fashion or appearance. Say it better time. Do not say, I will rapidly clothe myself.
That sounds like a time-traveling Victorian ghost. Instead, say, I am just going to throw on a sweater. Repeat. I am just going to throw on a sweater.
I am just going to throw on a sweater. That takes us straight into the busy afternoon. And our third phrase, wrap up.
To wrap up means to finish a task or bring an event to a neat close. So, instead of announcing to your coworkers, I am concluding my daily assignment, what is the natural choice?
Say, I am just wrapping up this report. Repeat. I am just wrapping up this report.
I am just wrapping up this report. But, if you cannot wrap things up and the work continues, you need our fourth phrase, power through.
To power through means to use your remaining willpower to finish something difficult when you are already exhausted.
Say it better. If your friend asks how you are doing at 4 o'clock, do not say, I must endure this continuous labor.
Please do not say that. Your friend will be very worried about you. Instead, you can sigh and say, I just need to power through the rest of the day.
Exactly. Repeat. I just need to power through the rest of the day.
I just need to power through the rest of the day. And that brings us to the reward. Our final phrase, veg out.
This is that heavy, passive resting stage. You are turning your brain completely off.
Say it better. Instead of telling your partner, I plan to be completely inactive tonight, say, I just want to veg out on the sofa.
Repeat. I just want to veg out on the sofa.
I just want to veg out on the sofa. That is 5 great, everyday phrases. But now, we need to actually test them in a real conversation.
Exactly. It is time for some guided practice. I am going to describe a brief daily situation to you, Jake, and I want you to answer using one of our target phrases. Then, we will invite the listener to do the exact same thing.
Sounds good to me. Give me a difficult situation to start.
Okay, Jake, imagine it is a rainy Saturday morning. You do not have any plans at all. What are you going to wear today?
I am probably just going to throw on some old sweatpants.
Perfect. Now it is your turn, listener. I will describe the situation, and I want you to answer out loud using the phrase, power through. Are you ready?
Here is the situation. You have been studying English for an hour. You are tired, but you only have 5 minutes of the podcast left. What do you need to do?
Say it out loud. I just need to.
I just need to power through. Excellent work.
Let us do one more. Jake, you have a pile of dirty dishes in the sink, but your favorite television show is starting right now. What are you going to do about the dishes?
Oh, that is very easy. I am definitely going to put them off until tomorrow.
I knew you would choose that one. Okay, listener, it is your final turn. Think about Friday night after a long, exhausting week. What do you want to do on the sofa?
Answer out loud using the phrase, veg out. Tonight, I just want to...
Tonight, I just want to veg out. You all did a fantastic job with those.
You really did. Using these small phrases will instantly make your English sound more relaxed and connected to daily life.
That brings us to the end of our cozy daily routine, and I have to say, Jake, you did remarkably well during that practice section.
Thank you. I was trying to power through the pressure, but honestly, walking through a typical day makes these phrases feel much more manageable.
It really does. When you attach English to your physical energy, the vocabulary suddenly makes sense. You gather energy in the morning when you throw on some clothes.
You spend that energy in the afternoon when you take on extra work or wrap up a big project.
And finally, you release all that tension in the evening when you wind down or veg out on the sofa.
Exactly. So your small action for today is simple. Pick just one of the phrases we talked about and use it in your mind as you go through your own routine.
It is the best way to make the language stick. And we have a question for you to answer in the comments. We want to know, what is one small task you have been putting off this week?
Besides fixing a coffee grinder, of course. Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed our conversation today, please subscribe or follow the podcast so we can keep practicing together.
We always love having you here. Remember, natural fluency is not built with giant dictionary words. It is built in the small, quiet moments of your everyday life. I am Lily.
And I am Jake.
Have a wonderful week and happy learning.
We will see you next time. Make sure you get some rest.